Test, test. Ready? All right, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2021 Mound Elementary DARE graduation. I always like to start off by thanking the City of Miamisburg, the Miamisburg City Schools, and the Miamisburg Police Department for their support of the DARE program, because without it, today wouldn't be possible. I'd also like to thank the fourth graders for showing up today. I look forward to seeing you next year. I'd also like to thank the fifth grade class here at Mound. You guys did a great job this year. I really enjoyed getting to know all of you, and I'm very proud of you. We covered a lot this year, including the dangers of alcohol and tobacco, how to make good decisions and to resist peer pressure, how to be safe with over-the-counter and prescription drugs, and we talked about bullying and being a good citizen. The goal of the program is for you guys to use the information we talked about as you grow older and encounter difficult situations. We do have some guests that have joined us today to congratulate you on your accomplishments. We have from the Miamisburg Municipal Court, your judge, Robert Reddick.
Good afternoon.
You quiet. Also from the Miamisburg Municipal Court, we have the Chief Probation Officer, Chantel Jennings. From the Miamisburg City Schools, we have your Superintendent, Dr. Laura Blessing. From the Miamisburg Police Department, we have Lieutenant Will Wing. Also from the Miamisburg Police Department, we have our School Resource Officer, Officer Copsey. And back here in the corner is your principal, Mrs. Hubert. A few of our guests would like to say a few words, and we'll begin with Dr. Blessing.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and students. Congratulations on behalf of the Board of School Trustees and myself. I want to let you know how proud I am of you and all of your accomplishments. Earlier this week, I had the pleasure of watching the Mound Talent Show. So I know that Officer Doug has shared a lot of great tips and experience and wisdom with you, but we have a very talented group of students that I know will make great decisions as they move on to the middle school and the high school. And I can't wait to see all of your accomplishments as you officially become a Miamisburg Viking in all of your endeavors and extracurricular events at the middle school and the high school. So very proud of you, and congratulations to you all. Thank you.
And Judge Reddick.
We'll be patient. Gosh, I had to hurry to get here. I thought I was going to miss it. I wanted to see the Gophers. My middle daughter, Abra, Mrs. Reed, she's talked about the fifth grade, not just her class, but all the fifth graders all year long, and I've had to hear all these stories about the fifth grade. She said this, he did that. And it's so nice to put maybe the faces with the stories. So I'm first here to say congratulations. You're going to move on to middle school and more responsibility and maybe not as much adult supervision. And I've got to talk about that a little bit, because in the future, you know what being tempted means, don't you? Yeah, I think you'll be tempted. It may be in that hours between when you get out of school and maybe your parents get home. Maybe it'll be late some evening, but at some point you're going to be tempted to do something that's inappropriate. Would you please think of all the things you've learned in DARE, that DARE decision-making model that you've learned. Now I'm going to give you a tip. It's been my life experience that the correct choice is always the hard one. All right? The easy decision's always the wrong one. Now, I asked Chantel Jennings, my Chief Probation Officer, to speak for me today, so you're going to get an extra treat today, Ms. also. Now, I've got to talk more about drugs, because we're having real issues with drugs. You know, how many people here have been impacted by opiate deaths? Somebody in your family, somebody you know? It's everybody, isn't it? I mean, I can raise my hand. Go ahead, you can put them down, but opiates are just terrible right now. Meth has raised its ugly head again, and we're having a huge number of meth issues. Now, I'm going to tell you, the former mayor, Dick Church, used to always say, great things are happening in Miamisburg. And they are. They really are. You're here at a place of privilege and wealth and prosperity. And believe me, if you just don't become harmfully involved with drugs, you're going to have a great life. You really are. Probably the worst mistake you could make is getting involved in drugs. Don't. Now, you're going to hear speeches from people. I know Officer Doug's taught you about the evils of tobacco, the evils of alcohol. Alcohol's still a big issue with us. We had, I think, 10 OVIs on Wednesday because the State Patrol's fired it back up and people aren't being very circumspect in what they do. So I'm worried about that, but drugs are the biggest problem I have. Now, when you go out into the world, you may do real well, but maybe that person to your right or your left or behind you, they may not be as good at making decisions as you are. I don't want to name anybody, but I've heard the names because, again, Ms. Reed talks to me about it almost every day. But could you lean back maybe and help that person that's not doing as well as you? If one of your friends makes a mistake, does something that's stupid, that's wrong, that you know is not right, grab their hand. Say, hey, that's not cool. It doesn't make you look impressive. Now, I've got to keep going on about this because we've had young kids that have threatened to hurt themselves, and it really worries me. You're only a little kid for a little while. Now, I'm old. I've been an adult a long, long time. You know what I can never be again? Is a kid. So while you're a child, enjoy your childhood. Don't strive to end it as soon as you can. Revel in the joy of being a kid. Now, I've got to tell you, I run around smiling all the time. My wife says, you keep doing that, they're going to lock you up. I'm just happy. But when I was happiest is when I was a 5th grader, just like you. And school was ending, and I was going to go play at the swimming pool every single day. I was going to camp out there. I mean, when it opened, I was there. When it closed, I was there. And then I would sometimes go fishing down at the creek. Sometimes I would camp out. I mean, I just played all summer long real hard. Hung out with my friends, had a great time. That's what I want you to do. Stay out of trouble. Believe me, I've got enough business. You know, I've thought about trying to golf again, but we're too busy. If people would get new hobbies, not getting drunk and high and acting stupid, maybe I could start golfing again. It'd be nice. So I'm begging you, please use every single thing that Officer Doug has taught you, the DARE decision-making model, and make good decisions. Now, if any of you have issues where you need help, call me. People call me all the time. It's in the phone book. They'll put you right through to me. Now, if you can't get a hold of me, any teacher here, any police officer will help you. All right? Call them. If you have any issues, let them know. They'll help you. Now, last time I wasn't thoughtful enough to I've got to mention the videographer here. Joe McKenzie does this, and he does a great job, and I need to recognize him. Ms. Jennings, I'm dying to hear your speech. Come on down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Well, you don't leave me much to talk about after that. So I'm sure you're all ready for summer. And he's covered pretty much all the topics I would cover. But one topic I will cover is as you get older, and get access to the internet, social media. Be responsible. Be responsible in what you put online. Be responsible in what you send to your friends. Be responsible for your words. So you may type it on the internet, but it can really hurt someone's feelings. You may not be able to see that reaction, but on the other end, that's really going to bother them. You need to be very responsible and accountable for yourself. And as the judge said, when you see someone that's doing something wrong, it's important that you acknowledge that it's wrong. And if you tell them it's wrong and they don't want to make the change, then you need to go to your teachers. You have great teachers. Go to a police officer, Officer Copsey, let them know what's going on so that they can address the issue. Don't just let it go. If you do, they could hurt themselves or someone else in the process. So I guess that's what I would say. I hope you guys have a great summer. Thank you to the teachers. Thank you, Officer Sheritz, Officer Copsey.
Thank you. The last thing the students do in DARE class is write a DARE report. Not only do they write one, but they present it to their classmates, and we've selected a few to share their reports today. And we'll begin with Mia Weinberg.
Did you know that 200 chemicals are in a cigarette? I have learned many things in DARE, and it can be serious sometimes. DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. I learned lots of things at DARE about bullying, drugs, smoking, and a lot more serious business. Bullying is one thing I learned about. There are 4 different types of bullying: physical, verbal, social, and cyberbullying. Physical is the worst one because you could get hurt or have the police come and do something about it. Verbal bullying is when the bully is making fun of you. It also happens because of the color of your skin or the religion you follow, and that is not okay. Cyberbullying is online or on social media. Cyberbullying or cyber harassment is a form of bullying or harassment using social media. Cyberbullying has become really common, especially among teenagers. Harmful bullying behavior can include posting rumors about a person, threats, personal information, and a lot of other things. Social bullying is another one. Social bullying and verbal bullying are a lot alike, but social bullying is spreading gossip and rumors about people. Those are the 4 common types of bullying. Drugs is another thing I learned in DARE. Drugs can cause a reaction in your body because you think it can help you, but sometimes it's dangerous to take it. There are 2 types of drugs: prescription and over-the-counter. Prescription drugs are ordered from a doctor. You cannot take another person's prescription. If you do, you could get arrested. Over-the-counter drugs are from a store like vitamins, but more than one person can take it. Some drugs are bad. They could hurt you and you could get addicted to it. Drugs is one thing we learned a lot about in DARE. Smoking is another thing I learned about. Smoking can affect your breathing because you breathe in the smoke. When you breathe in the smoke, it affects your lungs, and after time, it could cause cancer, heart disease, lung diseases, and diabetes. When I went by building companies, there were cigarettes everywhere. I was so disappointed in those people who smoked those cigarettes. I learned that when people ask you, "Do you want to smoke?" you should always say no. When people smoke, the people around you can inhale it and they could get sick too. I learned that smoking is harmful to me and harmful to others as well. Some people think that violence is horrible and others not so much. You always want to be the best person you can be because it's hard sometimes. I know it is going to be hard in the future, so I'm trying my best now. DARE has taught me so much in these 10 weeks, I've gotten more interested in learning how to be a better person. Hopefully other people will try to be their best self too. I, Mia Weinberg, pledge to make the right choices in my life.
Congratulations, Mia. Good job. Thank you. Next, we have Tucker Gilbert. Put it nice and close to your mouth, okay, so they can hear you.
Hi everyone. Today I'm telling you what I've learned from DARE and why I won't do drugs or alcohol. I'm going to tell you what I've learned from the DARE program, or what I've learned from the decision-making model, and how I plan to use what I've learned from DARE. Okay, so what has stuck with me the most about DARE is that you shouldn't do anything or say anything that you wouldn't want your mom or principal hearing. But I've also learned that drugs and alcohol are both really bad for you. And I know that many of my people in my family are addicted to some of those things that are really bad for you. So that means that I probably have the addiction gene too. So what I'm going to do is not ever do any of those things so I don't damage my health. Okay, so now the decision-making model. Define, assess, respond, and evaluate. I've actually been using this model a lot recently. I'll share with you an example. So it was like last week and my sister was being mean to me. Then she said if I told my mom, she would tell on me for getting on my laptop after I was told to go to bed. So I thought to myself, I know what the problem is, so now I should assess, see all the choices I had. I could tell on her and also get told on, or just not tell mom what she did. Then I had to respond. So I just decided to keep the information to myself because I figured it's not worth me getting in trouble. I think I made the right choice because later that night she got in trouble for not doing the dishes, so it all kind of worked out. All right, last but not least, how I plan to use what I've learned from DARE in the real world. Well, I'm definitely going to think before I make some decisions. I won't ever try to take drugs or alcohol. I won't bully anyone or purposely hurt anyone's feelings. And if I am ever bullied, I will ask an adult or the MCS bully hotline for help. And that is how I plan to use what I've learned from DARE. So that is my DARE report. I told you what I've learned and how I'm going to use what I've learned from DARE. I told you how I will use what I've learned in DARE to better help my life in the future and make safe and responsible choices. So to finish my report, I pledge to never do alcohol ever or drugs ever in my life. Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job. Thank you. Next, we have Jacob Hartley. You can see the guy. You can go wherever you want.
Hi, I'm Jacob Hartley. I'm going to read my DARE report. Did you know that DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education? Well, it does. DARE is a program that teaches children how to stay away from alcohol and drugs and tobacco. Tobacco, alcohol, and drugs are bad for your body. Alcohol has very bad effects that can hurt your body. So can drugs, and so can tobacco. DARE is very good for the health and the safety of children that are doing it. And DARE is teaching that drug resistance education, so it should keep going. Alcohol is bad for your body until you're 21, and that's why laws keep you from buying it until then. Alcohol can give you loss of coordination, slow reflexes, bad judgment, and loss of memory. Alcohol can damage all the organs in your body too. It can slow your brain down, and it can also weaken your heart so less blood can be pumped from your heart. Alcohol can hurt your body for many years, so you need to be aware if you're near it. Tobacco can harm your body in many ways, including tooth loss. This, of course, is not good for your health. Tobacco is in cigars, cigarettes, and chewing tobacco. Tobacco can cause lung cancer, more colds, and dry skin, and maybe even death. And that is why Ohio has a law that says you can't buy it until you're 21. So your body won't get as badly as affected. Tobacco can harm you in many ways, so don't use it. DARE stands for two different things: Drug Abuse Resistance Education, and the other is Define, Assess, Respond, Evaluate, the DARE decision-making model. And this you can use to make the right choices in life. And DARE is helping good for the health of children that by teaching them what to do in other situations, including how to stop stress and how to report bullying by using the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. You might not know the why, so don't make anything up for it. It also can help the children know what to do if they see someone underage drink or using tobacco or using drugs. DARE is also very good for that welfare of the children. DARE is for drug abuse resistance education, so it is very good for the health of the children that are using it. It teaches about tobacco, alcohol, and drugs, and that they can all affect your body badly. DARE teaches this. DARE is good for the health of children that learned it and can keep them alive, and that is why DARE should keep going. And DARE is good for the health of children, so it should not be stopped.
Congratulations. Good job. Next, we have Lauren Ford.
Drugs and alcohol are everywhere. You might not be aware of how many people use drugs or drink heavily, or you may know people who have been harmed by these substances. Whatever the case may be, it's important to arm yourself with knowledge about drugs and alcohol so you can make informed decisions if faced with the choice of using them. During my DARE experience, I have learned how to make safe and responsible choices. I now know how tobacco, alcohol, and nicotine can affect our bodies. All these substances can harmfully affect your body in multiple ways. For example, they can cause memory loss, heart disease, cancer, and even death. I've also learned how to define a situation before jumping to conclusions. It's called the DARE decision-making model. The DARE decision-making model helps you define the situation and take care of it correctly. The steps to this model are define, describe the problem, challenge your opportunity, assess, what are your choices, respond, use the facts and information you have gathered to make a choice, evaluate, review your decision, did you make a good choice? These steps of the DARE decision-making model will help you make unmistakable, positive, and dependable decisions. This DARE decision-making model can help you in various ways, rather to make responsible choices for yourself or others. I will use my DARE model when faced with tough decisions. When I get to high school, I'm sure that I will be approached to use alcohol, nicotine, or even drugs. In those times, I may want to give in to peer pressure. If I use the DARE model, I may be able to resist. Using the model will help me avoid the situation altogether. After all, the R in DARE stands for resistance. Proven by the U.S. Health Department services, every 4 minutes a child is arrested for drug use. At the end of 8th grade, 52% of students have tasted alcohol, 41% of children have smoked, and 20% have inhaled or chewed marijuana. If the DARE program remains in use, it's possible that these numbers could possibly be reduced. This proves that the DARE program has faith and hope in the world today.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks. Next, we have Porter Clemens.
My DARE experience has been great. I learned a lot about drugs, violence, alcohol, tobacco, drug use, and the different kinds of medicine. I have used the DARE decision-making model in many ways ever since I learned about it. I will use what I have learned to stay away from drugs and violence. I have learned many things in my DARE classes this year. First, I learned that tobacco and alcohol can be extremely harmful for your health and others. Second, I learned about making responsible choices about what you should do and when you are stressed or under peer pressure. Lastly, I learned how to tell apart the two different kinds of medicine, over-the-counter and prescription. Clearly, I have learned a lot from DARE. I have used the DARE decision-making model a lot. One example of a time I used it was when me and my brothers were arguing. And if I kept arguing, I might get in trouble. But if I walked away, I probably wouldn't get in trouble. So then I walked away and I didn't get in trouble. It was a good decision because I didn't get in trouble. As you can see, when I used the DARE decision-making model, I thought about my decision before I did it. I will use what I have learned in DARE to make responsible choices by staying away from drug users, people who do violence, and people who use the medicine the wrong way. I will also think before I act and report bullying if I see it. Clearly, I will use DARE to make the right choices. DARE has taught me a lot about drugs, violence, medicine, and other things. The DARE decision-making model helps with decisions before you make them. As you can see, my DARE experience has been great.
Awesome job. Congratulations. And Josie Ward.
My DARE report, by me, Josie Ward. Hi, I'm Josie, and by my title, I'm guessing you already know this is my DARE report. You might think what I'm about to tell you is going to be boring, but it won't be, I promise. Oh, and before I forget, DARE means Drug Abuse Resistance Education. Well, anyways, in my report, I will be talking about what I have learned so far in DARE, how I've used it so far in my life, and how I will continue to use it. I have learned so many things from the DARE decision-making model. Oh, right, it's decision-making model. The DARE decision-making model stands for 1, D, define, 2, A, assess, 3, R, respond, and 4, E, evaluate, if you didn't already know that. That is how we decide how to get ourselves out of an unwanted situation or how to make a decision. Well, I learned quite a few things from DARE, like how tobacco can cause such harm to people. More than 400,000 people die every year from tobacco. The same things happen with alcohol, but less. 75,000 people die every year because of alcohol. Another thing I should probably mention is bullying. A lot of people get bullied at some point in their life, but the good thing is it's really easy to report it. Thanks to DARE, I learned you can report it on the school website by answering 5 simple W questions. 1, who's being bullied? 2, what happened? 3, when did it happen? 4, where did it happen? And 5, why did it happen? The last part's optional though. I have used the DARE decision-making model so many times. For example, just the other day, I came home on a Thursday and I had dance class on Thursday. And I wasn't feeling well because I hadn't been able to sleep on Wednesday. So first I define the situation. I have dance, but I'm not feeling well. Second, assess. I could either go to dance feeling sick and not take care of myself, or stay home and give myself the time I need to rejuvenate myself and just practice the dance routine a lot when I'm feeling better. 3, respond. I stayed home and just gave myself the time I needed to get better, and just practice the dance a lot when I started to feel better. 4, evaluate. I thought it was a good decision. I felt a lot better the next day and practiced the dance on Friday. I bet there are going to be some people who I know who start using drugs and smoking and even drinking if they are underage. So I'm really happy I've learned so much in DARE, because without it, I might have been peer pressured into using drugs and smoking and drinking, even if I were underage. So in conclusion, I really hope you enjoyed my DARE report. I have learned so much from it, and so far in my life, it has been really useful, and it will continue to be useful throughout my whole life. So I'm happy to say I had DARE class.
Congratulations. Awesome job. Thank you. All the students did a great job on their DARE reports, and those 6 are a perfect example of that. The last group of people I'd like to thank are the ones that make my job as a DARE also very easy, and that's the staff here at Mound Elementary, and that begins with your principal, Mrs. Huber. And the 5th grade teachers, Mrs. Elson, Mrs. Romali, and Mrs. Reed. And now it's time for you guys to receive your certificates, and we'll begin with Mrs. Elson's class.
We're doing it the same way as long as I hand it to you. Okay.
I would like to say congratulations to my class. I sat in class with you and watched you learn, and I know that when you are tempted in the future, as Judge Reddick talked about, that I feel that each and every one of you are armed with what you need to make those good choices. So having said that, Evan Bice. Hunter Ellis. Tucker Gilbert. Kellen McGowan. Michaela Michael. To Judge Reddick. Brianna Roberts. Aubrey Wilmot. Mia Weinberg. Gracie Fortner. Brandon Morgan. Aiden Juarez. Caden Rockhold Cole. Mackenzie Ruthrow. Zane Aldred. Amara Travers. Jaden Gregory. Lella Patrick. And Evan Dunphy. And Eowyn Mahaney.
Next, we have Mrs. Vermeley's class.
All right, guys, I'd just like to say congratulations to you all. I'm just so glad that we were able to do this year. So, missed it last year, but you guys are resilient. I'm so proud of you, and congratulations for graduating from DARE. Maylene Bailey, come on up. Ella Beal. Porter Clemens. Damian Combs. Kennedy Davis. Dylan Hall. Bella Lamb. Zoe Parker. Gracie Rutherford. Colin Shields. Gracelyn Smith. Liam Talby. Landon Troop. Josie Ward. Camden Weeks. Josh Williams. Hunter Warback. Addison Bowling. And Gracelyn Goins. Great job, guys.
Thank you. And Mrs. Reed's class.
Thanks. I am not Mrs. Reed, but I'll give this a shot. Rowan Bordley. Landon Lauver. Violet Baker. Chloe Bowling. Micaiah Dorsey. Lydia Hernandez. Corinne Hawkins. Riley Allen Woodward. Grayson Winters. Brian Smithwick. Jack Miller. Gwendolyn Sargent. Carson Sands. Kay Masternardi. Gavin Landers. Finley Kasich. Jacob Hartley. Landon Fouts. Lauren Ford. And last but not least, Reed Copsey.
Last thing we'll do as part of our graduation ceremony is watch a short little video of classes here at Mound Elementary. Thank you, Judge. Okay. All right, once again, congratulations. Have a great summer. Thank you. I don't know what you wanted to do now, so.
All right, guys, let's give Officer Doug one huge round of applause. All right. And remember, let's reassure Officer Doug that we are smart. We are brave. We are kind. We are color. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody want a cupcake? All right. Hold your horses. We'll get you settled up. 4th grade. I believe you are dismissed. Do they get the treats too? I don't know. This is my first time. Does 4th grade get cupcakes too? I don't know. What do we do now?
Depends how many they have.
I don't think you do. Okay.
It changes from year to year.
All right. What do I just pull them up and... Lauren, why don't you start the line?
You guys, put your diplomas on your chairs. Put your diplomas